Hello everybody and welcome back to another video by NovaPans Handpans. Thank you for tuning in. We're back today with another free lesson. Today it's going to be on an F sharp Hijaz. So for anyone who's unfamiliar, a Hijaz scale is one of our more extravagant scales. In fact, some people claim it to be more Egyptian sounding. You'll find that anyone who plays the Hijaz typically has a little bit of background or experience, maybe playing other instruments, but it's not necessarily the case. If you do like the sound of the Hijaz, you can play it no problem. Just be aware that the notes and the scale of the Hijaz aren't necessarily compatible with all other songs or scales, because it is quite a rare find. With that said, it's a very mysterious and adventurous scale, and you can create a lot of impressive music from it. So without any further ado, I want to show you that little what would I call it, song. I wouldn't call it one riff, because I'd say it's probably made up of a few riffs, but I'm gonna break it into sections, and I'm gonna show you how you can play it yourself. Bear with me, I've got a broken toe, so it's not ideal to be displaying my big toe in a bandage, but I'm not letting anything stop me today with making the videos. So without any further ado, let's get on with it. So for anyone who's actually, say, watched any of our previous tutorial videos, maybe you've seen the song called Moonlight. It's actually, what I was doing on the Hijaz here was a similar chord chord progression to that song called Moonlight, and essentially all that is the left and the right hand are doing this. So I'll demonstrate it, and then we'll analyze it, and then I'll draw it on the board for you. So again. So what you'll notice there is the left hand is playing the same note here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We count adjacent. If you haven't seen our previous tutorial videos on how to play the handpan, then check them out. They're all free, and they're a great starter series for understanding the handpan. And it's helped a lot of people, so definitely check them out, and it will help with this video too. The left hand is playing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th note here, and the right hand is alternating. It's going from the second to the third to the fourth, and then back to the third. So you play that together and it goes 2 and 5, 3 and 5, 4 and 5, 3 and 5, 2 and 5, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. What you can probably also throw in there and practice is imagining that there's a second beat. You'll have to excuse the seagulls. I'm currently recording by the sea, so they're kind of voluntarily part of the video now. 2 and 5, you play the note, feel a click inside of you or in your head, and then play 3 and 5, click again, 4 and 5, click again, 3 and 5, click. So it'll be something like this. And then you internalize that. Click, 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 click. And I say you end on this one, you actually start on this one again. It's a loop, basically. And the reason, you might be wondering, why am I clicking, between the notes? And the reason for that is to help you with the timing, because the last thing you want to do when you're playing a song, especially one which is full of in-between little melodies, like, is you want to make sure there's enough space between the notes. That doesn't mean you have to wait excessively between each note. It also doesn't mean that you have to rush each note, and that's why we count internally. So don't worry too much about making it perfect. Just give yourself a little bit of space and make sure each note is equally spaced between each other. So the way we would notate this, and you're probably going to see my toe now, so again, forgive me for that, is as such. So for anyone who's seen our previous tutorials, you'll understand that we're using traditional notation, traditional classical traditional musical instrument notation from Europe, that is. And I'm just looking for the black pen, I can't find it. But there's nothing wrong with using blue. Anyway, we'll use blue. And the way that's written, and by the way, this has all been covered, and a whole breakdown of which has been covered in our free handpan tutorial series, also on YouTube, if you haven't already checked it out. It's a couple hours worth, but you can basically get the basics in a few minutes. The way we notate in traditional music notation is we use what's called staves. Staves is just another word for lines, and we use 5 lines to map all the notes of, say, the world of music and musical instruments. I created a system, because it wasn't already there, to allow people to play the handpan using sheet music, and it's not based on a pitch system, which basically means you see the note, you remember what that note is, and then you play it as you remember it on your handpan, your instrument, as is the case with all other musical instruments. The situation with this is, and I'm going to cut this, make this as short as possible, but the situation with this is that it's more of a visual reference. So you've got the 5 staves, and all I've done is I've drawn a circle on it, and I've said the handpan, the notes of the handpan are this. You've got the ding, as we know, as we call it. The ding is the middle note, or the first note, the big one in the middle. I've put that there. I've put the second note down here. If this is too small, which it probably is, there's going to be practice material, sheet music, as a recap of every lesson. It's always linked in the description, or if not, it's provided at novapans.com/sheet music, and that's free also. So you've got the ding, you've got the second note, we know we play that on the right hand, and then the third note I put on the line here, right? So ding, second, third, fourth in the space here, fifth note here, and then I start putting the other notes here. So the 6th note is here in what you might call the space, second space from the top, 7th note, 8th, 9. Now hopefully you see this, like a lot of people have already, so I know it works, that the notes of the handpan do fit on the staves of traditional sheet music. So what that allows us to do is jot down the notes of songs and play them as they are on a piece of paper or on a page, and play them. So that was a quick recap. I know it's been a few months or years for most people, or it might be completely new for you. If you need more information on this, check out the tutorials as mentioned. I'm now going to get straight into the notation for this. So now we're going to use different note symbols to represent different timing. I'm just going to draw a line here as if to suggest it's the start of a new bar, or the start of the song. And I'm going to show you how the first note is 2 and 5. Remember how we said the first note is 2 and 5? I might just write these down for you. So first note 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I understand this is really small, so what I'm going to try to do is zoom in for you later. 2 and 5 are the first notes, and I'm going to draw them like this to show how you hold them for 2 beats of the bar. Typically there's 4 beats in a bar. It really depends on the time signature, something we've covered in the past. The time signature just determines how many beats are in the bar. but in this case we'll put 4/4. So essentially, don't worry too much about the meaning, the breakdown meaning of this, but that just means there's 4 beats in every bar. 2 and 5 are the first notes, and then you've got 3 and 5. 3 and 5. Now, because that's another 2 notes, that makes up the bar. 2 plus 2 is 4. That's the first bar. So the first note is 2 and 5. Then you've got 3 and 5, 2 and 5, 3 and 5, 4 and 5. Okay, that was the one after. 4 and 5. 4 and 5. Dum, 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 chat, dum, chat, dum, chat, dum. And then you go back to 3 and 5 to end this little session, you might call it, or section. And that is that is essentially that section or riff. I'll play it one more time, so you can basically see it visually on the handpan, but also on the sheet music above me. 2 and 5, 2 and 5. So from the moment I play the note, it starts a click, right, in your head. That should start the, we call it the metronome, or the count. So 1, 2, 3 and 5, 1, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You basically repeat that. Now this in itself is a song. So if you're worried about being able to get any further in this song, because we are going to continue developing it, don't worry, because it all comes in time and practice. And the beauty of the instrument of the handpan is that you can pretty much just play this, just chords, or even just simple notes, simple individual notes. Oh, it's a shame that we've run out of battery. So this might be a new section. You can still hear me, but this is a song in itself, a chord progression, and we'll continue with a more expanded version later. You've still got me here. That's a chord progression on a Hijaz handpan, and there's more to develop, which we'll cover in another video. Thank you.